Hey there, my name is Thomas and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to go over some basics and fundamentals about cubing that you guys should know if you guys want to continue your cubing journey. I know a lot of you guys in the comments wanted to learn some basic fundamentals and things you guys want to learn, like terminology and stuff. So I'm going to go over that with you guys today. So first off, I'm going to go over the grip and how you should hold the Rubik's Cube. Now, there's a pretty standardized grip that most cubers know that we call the home grip. Now, I'm going to show it right-handed first. So, lefties, I'll also show it for you guys, but today I'm going to start with the right hand. So, if you're right-handed, you're going to grab the cube like this with your left hand. Your thumb is going to naturally land here on this 4 block, right here, right in that center hole right there. Your pinky is going to land here in this hole, and then your ring finger is going to be on this hole right here. So, essentially, your left hand is going to provide the stability on this 2x3 block right here. So your right hand is going to do a majority of the moves like this and this. Yep. And your middle finger on your left hand, it's going to land naturally around here. It should feel very natural. Like this grip should feel natural. If it doesn't feel natural, then you may want to readjust like where your fingers are landing. But in general, this is generally how you want to grip it, like this. And your pointer finger on your left hand is going to land out here. So you can do this move with your left hand like this. And then with your right hand, you're going to grip the right side of the cube like this. Thumb is naturally going to fall right here on this block. Your pinky is just going to float around for now. If you want, you can kind of leave it right here on this corner. And then your ring finger is going to end up here on one of these blocks, and same with your middle finger, somewhere around there. And then your pointer finger can either rest around here or right here. But generally, this is what we call the home grip. So your two thumbs are going to be in the front, and then your middle and ring finger are going to be in the back like this. So this is what we call home grip. And what's unique about it is you can actually swap. So now I have my right hand doing this stability, holding this 2x3 block right here, and my left hand is going to do the moves like this. Yeah, so this is how you do it lefty. Thumb's going to be here on this block, pinky's going to be here on this hole. Your ring finger is going to be here on this hole in the back. And then your middle finger is going to end up somewhere around there. Yep. Just like that. Pointer finger is going to be right here on this corner, so we can do this move. And then your right hand or your left hand is going to be here. Thumb is going to land up here. Pinky is going to kind of float around. Ring finger is going to be right here on one of these blocks. And same with your middle finger, just like that. So yeah, this is how you do it lefty. Yeah, and that's what we call home grip. Now, while in this position, a lot of the turns you want to do is going to be with your finger. But if your cube is hard to move with your finger, resort to just doing wrist turns. So if it feels impossible to turn with your finger, just like your lone finger, please just resort to the wrist turns. You don't want to do any strenuous moves. So I know there's a lot of cubes out there that are bad, especially Rubik's brands like this one. So sometimes doing little turns like this can be hard. But if you have the newer updated one like this one, it should be fairly easy. But if it still causes some strain in your hands, just resort to doing wrist turns while your left hand or right hand does the stability. So yeah. Now, a lot of cubers don't like Rubik's brands, and there's a reason for that. A lot of them kind of use a speed cube, kind of like this. And the reason why is because of the corner pieces like this. They're more rounded out. So these are more square, which allows for something we call corner cutting. Now, what is corner cutting? It's when the top layer or any of the layers are misaligned, and when you try to make a move, this corner just kind of cuts right into place. You see that? Like the cube isn't even aligned, and I could do like a cut like this. Yep, and then same the other way as well. So I have the cube like this, and it does a cut. It just kind of cuts around this corner right here, which is neat. But Rubik's brands don't do this. So if I try to do that, yeah, it's really bad. So essentially, the cube is just so flexible that it just kind of misses this alignment and just snaps into place. So yeah, down below, I'll link a couple of speed cubes that I recommend. I'll have some in different budgets as well. And I'll link different retailers such as like Amazon and a couple of other cubing retailers that I use. So if you want some recommendations, I'll link them down below. Another reason why speed cubers love speed cubes, most modern day speed cubes actually have magnets in them. So in the corner pieces like this and the edge pieces like this one here, they actually have little magnets that attract the pieces to stay together. So it'll provide more stability when doing fast turns. So if I do this, you see, instantly snaps into place. Like I don't even have the other finger catching it. Yeah. So a lot of modern day speed cubes do have magnets. Some of them don't, but the ones I'm linking down below will have some. If you guys want some recommendations for cubes that don't have any magnets, let me know in the comments and I'll update the description and let you guys know about that as well. Another thing about speed cubes is that they're just much more satisfying to turn. They just feel so much more fun to play with. They snap better, better performance, better speed, better everything than Rubik's brand. So these Rubik's brand right here is just very clunky. They don't align. It just doesn't have really good performance. So it's better to get like a $8 to $10 speed cube than spending the $10 getting a Rubik's brand. So that's just my opinion. I know a lot of you guys probably have the Rubik's brand at home, so I'm going to try to explain the terminologies on this thing, and hopefully it'll help you better follow along as well. So first things first, I'm going to teach you guys R. Now what is R? You're actually going to move this right face here upwards, right? And then L is the left face. So L actually means you move the left face downwards. So as you start to notice, opposite faces like R and L have opposite movements. So R went upwards, L went downwards. And that's a pattern here. And I'll show you guys what else we have. So next thing I'm going to teach you is U. So U is moving the upper layer to the left, like that. And then D, as you can guess, is the downward layer. So that means moving the downward layer to the right. So yeah, opposite faces, opposite moves. So U went to the left, D went to the right. Next, I'm going to teach you F, which is the front face. So F is moving the front face this way. And then B is the back face. So that means we're going to move the back face this way, to the left. So as you can see, F and B are opposite faces, opposite moves. So F went to the right and B went to the left like that. So undo, undo. Next, I'm going to show you guys what it means when there's an apostrophe present in the notation. So the apostrophe means that we have to do the move the other way. So as we noted earlier, R was moving the right layer up like this. So R prime with the apostrophe would mean move the right layer down, such as this. Then we have L, which meant moving the left layer down like this. So L prime would actually mean moving the left layer upwards like this. So as we noted earlier, opposite faces, opposite moves. So R prime went downwards, L prime went upwards, just like how R went upwards, L went downwards. So that trend still continues here, even with the apostrophe present. So then we have U, which was moving the upper layer to the left like this. So U prime would mean moving the upper layer to the right like this. Then we had D, which was moving the downward layer to the right like this. Then D prime would mean moving the downward layer to the left like this. So undo, undo. Then we had F, which was moving the front face like this to the right. And then F prime would mean moving the front face to the left like this. Then we had B, which was moving the back layer this way to the right. So B prime would mean undo, move the back layer to the right like this. And bang. So that's what all the notation means. Those are the basic notations. Next up, I'm going to go over some unusual notations you'll rarely see, but they will come up in advanced cases. So I thought I might as well let you guys know what it means, just in case you ever run into it. So we have R wide, which means we move the two right layers upwards like this. Then R wide prime, which would mean we move the two right layers downwards like this. So that's usually notated by an RW or a lowercase r. Next, I'm going to show you L wide, which is this. We move the two left layers down. And then L wide prime, which means we move the two layers upwards like this. And that's usually dictated by a LW or in lowercase l with an apostrophe or without an apostrophe. Then we have U wide, which means we move the top layers like this, the top two layers, to the right like, or to the left like this. And then U wide prime would mean we move the top two layers to the right like this. And that's usually dictated by a lowercase u or a UW. And then UY prime would be lowercase u or UW with an apostrophe. Then we have D wide, which means we move the two bottom layers to the right like this. And then D wide prime would mean we move the two bottom layers to the left like this. That's usually dictated by a lowercase d or a DW, and then with the primes would be the apostrophes at the end of it. Then we have F wide, which would mean we move the two front layers like this to the right or clockwise. And then F wide prime would mean the other way. So that's usually dictated by a lowercase f or an FW, and then the prime would be FW with an apostrophe or lowercase f with the apostrophe. Then we have B wide, which we mean we move the two back layers like this to the right, or to the left, I mean. And then B wide prime would mean we move the two back layers to the right like this. That's usually dictated by a lowercase b or a BW, and then with the prime, it's going to be with an apostrophe at the end of it. Then we have E, which is actually moving this middle layer. So E is moving the middle layer this way, like this. And then E prime is moving the middle layer back this way. Then we have S, which is moving this middle layer this way. And then S prime is moving that middle layer back like this. Then we have M, and M is moving this middle layer towards you like this. And then M prime is moving this middle layer back away from you like that. Then we have some other letters, and those basically mean how to rotate the cube. So we have X, which means we rotate the cube this way vertically. So this is X. And then Y is rotating the cube this way horizontally. And then we have Z, which is actually spinning the cube this way. I think it's pretty funny. Yeah, so that's all the basic notations for how to move the cube. So now I'm going to show you guys how to properly scramble your cube. And you're probably wondering to yourself, how do you properly scramble a cube, Thomas? That doesn't even make sense. Well, we cubers, we actually have apps and websites that generate a scramble for us, and they provide us with notations as well as a picture of the scramble to make sure that we executed the moves correctly and that we have the proper scramble. So I'm not sure why this is, but to have a proper scramble, you have to have the cube fully solved, just like this. And you must have the green face facing you and the white face on top, just like this. So that way, when we execute the moves notated by the scramble generator, we'll be able to have the proper scramble outcome that we want. So first things first, I'm going to have the notation listed here. And I've actually realized that the first move is a B2. And I never went over what the numbers mean, but the numbers actually mean how many times we have to turn that layer. So B2 means we would have to move the back layer twice. So the 2 indicates 2 turns, by the way. So B2 would mean back layer twice, just like that. Then we have D prime, which means we would have to move the downward layer to the left because D is moving this way. So D prime is the opposite. Then we have R2, which means we move the right layer twice, just like that. Then we have B2, which means we would have to move the back layer twice again, just like that. Then we have D, which means we would have to move the downward layer to the right, like this. Then we have B2 again, which means we would have to move the back layer twice. Then we have U, which means we would have to move the upward layer to the left, like that. Then we have F2, which would mean we move the front face twice. So 1, 2. Then we have D prime again, which means we move the downward layer to the left. Then we have L2, which means we move the left layer down twice. So L2. Then we have D2, which means we move the downward layer twice. So to the right, 1, 2. Then we have L, which means we move the left layer or left face down once, like that. Then we have D, which moves the downward layer to the right, like this. Then we have B prime, which means we move the back layer to the right, like this. Then we have R prime, which means we move the right layer down, just like this. Then we have F prime, so that means we move the front face to the left like this. So that's the front face, F prime. Then we have U prime, which we move the top layer to the right, U prime, like that. Then we have L prime, which we move the left layer up, like this. Then we have B prime, which we move the back layer to the right, like this. Then we have F2, which moves the front layer twice to the right. And here's the scramble. If you followed along with me, your scramble should turn out like this. If you want to rotate the cube with me and make sure that all the colors are aligned. So we have this, there's white, there's yellow. If you guys want to take your time to take a look and make sure all of the colors are matching. If so, congratulations. You now know some basic notation. And those of you who didn't get the correct scramble, that's okay. Just keep following along with the video. Eventually you'll take it down, you'll get it down. It took me about a month to learn basic notation, and I know that's kind of embarrassing, but with proper practice, this will come as like a second language to you guys eventually. So yeah, never give up. So guys, I went ahead and logged on to my computer here, and I'm going to show you guys this website called Cstimer. It's actually the very first link here on Google if you go ahead and click on it. And as you can tell, it is very ugly looking. I'm going to go ahead and move myself here so I don't block anything. But here's what the website looks like. We have the scramble generated up here. So this is the notation that you do on the cube. After you're done doing that, you'll actually have this image of the cube right down here. And so this image right here should be the result of the moves that you do up here. And you do it from left to right. And those of you that aren't too familiar with the notation or what these moves mean, you can actually click on the picture itself. So right here, I'm clicking on it. And it'll actually give you a visualization of what the move should be. So yeah, so here's like a really good breakdown of how to do the scramble here. And you can slow it down if it's going too fast as well. So this is basically like doing one move a second. Oh, I paused it as well. So yeah. So this is slower. And yeah, this website has some really good features. We have the timer as well. After you do a time, it'll actually end up on this left side right here. So this is a table of your times. As you can tell, I logged on to like a new browser, so that way I didn't have any data on here whatsoever. But first things first, let's get rid of the ugly colors. What I usually do is I click here on options. Then we have like a bunch of different like settings here. First things first, I usually click on color. I click on style here, and then I go to black. This is my default. A lot of other people like to do like so many other things, like they change the font, they change like what's displayed. I didn't really mess with that. I just wanted to do some times. But yeah, you actually have so much creative freedom here if you want to mess with it. But the very first important thing here is there's this thing that we have in cubing called inspection. So when I first start the timer, right? By the way, to activate this timer, if you're on keyboard or on PC, you actually press on your space bar. So when I press it, you see that the time is actually lighting up. Now, once the time turns green, everything disappears except for the timer. So I'm going to press and hold it. If you press and hold, like I'm doing here, it turns green, everything disappears. And then once I release it, it starts the timer immediately. So you can only start the timer with the space bar, but you can end the timer with any key on the keyboard. So yes, you get more freedom with ending the timer than starting the timer, which is kind of real with cubing when you use a stack mat, but I'll go more in detail in another video about that. But I'm going to go ahead and delete that time there. So yeah, as you can tell, the timer starts immediately and it doesn't give you like any freedom or anything like that. But us cubers, we have something called inspection time. So if you see right here where it says WCA inspection time, you actually have, oh, it doesn't show it here. Like it's not displaying, but you actually have 5 options here. So when I click on it, see, it says always down. There's like other options, always up. We have except blind up, and then never. So the default option is going to be never. If you click on here, I do always up because in competitions, they have a stopwatch that counts upwards. And yeah, so now if I press the space bar, like how I am here, I get 15 seconds to look at it. So yes, it counts upwards and it gives you a warning at 8 seconds when 8 seconds have passed. There it is. And then it gives you a warning at 12 seconds as well. 12 seconds. Yeah, so there's the 12 seconds. And then, oh, my keyboard is really weird. But yeah, and then you could start your timer like that as well. So once it turns green is when the timer starts. And then you press any key to end it, like just like that. And if you go over the allotted 15 seconds, you actually get a 2-second penalty added to your time. But if you're just starting out cubing, don't worry about any penalties or anything, and don't even turn on inspection. Just take some time to solve. Once you get your time down, then I guess you can start adding inspection to it. It's just another layer of pressure that you don't need if you're going to start. So as you can see here, I went over the allotted time, and then it gave me a +2 penalty. If I go over that, then it says DNF, which means my solve doesn't even count. So down here, it doesn't even count anymore, unfortunately. So yeah. I'll go into more details about like regulations and stuff in another video, but for right now, this is just like the basic timer. So yeah, there's like a list here. It even gives you like averages and stuff. So let me show you guys. I'm just gonna do like random times. I'm not really timing myself or anything. So yeah. So yeah, as you can see, like the average of 3, which means it took the average of 3 times, and it went ahead and calculated that for you. So then I should have an average of 5 here because I did 5 solves. Yeah, so this right here is the average of 5, and it pops up here average of 5 as well. So now that I do 12 solves, let's see, we're gonna add more, whatever. Yep, so there's the average of 12 right here, which is already calculated. So after about 12 solves, it'll go ahead and calculate all the averages here, which this is impossible. A 1 second average, maybe in the near future, but that would be nuts. Anyway, you can delete the whole entire session like I'm going to do here with this little X. Yeah, if you have an illegitimate time, you can actually click on the time itself, like right here. And then you can add your own penalty. You can disqualify your own time. It even gives you the scramble right here as well as the date and time when you solve it, which is pretty cool. And you can delete your time. So I'm going to delete that one there. And this website is not limited to just 3x3. You can actually click on here and they give you, well, it's not popping up on my window here, but you can do like 2x2. So there's a 2x2, there's 5x5, there's 3x3, and yeah, so many different options there. 6x6, and yeah, and you can even do like silly goofy practices on the WCA. So we have like 3x3 only, 4x4 only. This is like practices that you can do for each individual cube if you want to do practices. So yeah, that's just basic. That's a basic rundown of Cstimer. You can also get this app on your phone as well. So if you go over to, let's see, I'm gonna show you guys here. Let me make myself bigger so I can show y'all. Hey, editing Thomas here. So I realized that I forgot to go over some other functions that we have. So this is my Cstimer now. But if you see here where it says session, you can click on this one. And the tab is not showing on my screen here, but you can actually have multiple sessions for different cubes. So I have this one here, which is session 2, as you can see. It's for 4x4. Then we have 3x3 one-handed. We have 3x3 still. So I guess I didn't really flush this one out like I did on my phone. But then we have regular 3x3 on session 1. So yeah, that's one of the features you can use if you want to do and explore other cubes as well. So yeah, let me know if this helped. Here I am on my Cstimer. I'm going to go ahead and do a scramble here. As you can see, white on front, or green on front, white on top. So I'm going to do that here. Then I'm going to follow the instructions that are listed on top. And then I'll show you guys a proper way to do the scramble. So after you're done with the scramble, you're going to immediately hit space, which gives you 15 seconds to look at it if you want to do inspection. Otherwise, don't really need to go for it. Then I'm going to take some time to look at it, and then I'm going to try to start the timer and try my best to solve this. Okay, so here we are. Okay, there we are. So that was a 13-second solve roughly. And so it's added on here. So that's an example of how you guys should use the website here. So yeah, hopefully that helps. There I am. I don't know why it flipped me, but there I am. But you can go onto the Cstimer website on your phone just like this. If you have an iPhone, you can hit this little share button right down there. Oh, I'm going to try to cover up their contacts. But right down there. And you should be able to add this to your home screen. So I'm going to scroll down. and you see this option here that says add to home screen. You're going to click on that, and then you'll be able to add your app to your home screen, and you can even rename it if you want to. But I already have the app. I'm not going to try to override my times. So yeah, there it is. If you guys don't believe me, it's right there. There's the timer. And you can do this on Android as well. It's a little bit different, but you can bookmark this app onto your home screen as well. So yeah. And if you guys don't want to use Cstimer, there's actually a really good app on the App Store in particular. It's called CubeTime. It's specifically made for cubers. Here it is. Here's what it looks like on the App Store. I already have this one because sometimes Cstimer is a little janky on the phone. So I think this is a better alternative if your Cstimer starts acting up on your phone. But yeah, so that's my basic rundown of Cstimer. If you guys have any more questions or you guys want me to break it down even further, let me know in the comments, and DM me on Instagram if you have any more comments, or you can even message me on Discord as well. So yeah, hope you had a great day. Let me know how it was. Bye bye.